engulf/engulfed, to sweep over or cover something completely. The massive forest fire engulfs the nearby residential areas, forcing residents to flee. Onus, a duty or responsibility for something. The onus of proof lies with the prosecution in a criminal trial. Defiant, showing open resistance or bold disobedience. The protesters remained defiant even after several warnings from the police. Stranglehold, complete power of control over a person or situation. High interest rates have placed a stranglehold on small business growth this year. Strait, a narrow passage of water connecting two seas. Ships must navigate carefully through the narrow strait to avoid hitting the rocks. Parliament, a legislative body of government. The new environmental law was passed by Parliament late last night. Escalate, to increase rapidly in intensity or magnitude. Tensions between the two tech giants continue to escalate over patent rights. Indefinitely, for an unlimited or unspecified period of time. The launch of the new spacecraft has been postponed indefinitely due to technical issues. Detractors, people who criticize or disparage someone or something. Despite the movie's commercial success, it still has many detractors. Dismantle, to take apart or deconstruct something. It took several days for the construction workers to dismantle the temporary stage. Diplomacy/diplomatic, the skill of managing international relations. International diplomacy is essential for maintaining global peace and security. Amassing, gathering together or accumulating a large amount of something. The collector spent years amassing a vast library of rare first editions. Amphibious, suited for both land and water. The military used amphibious vehicles to land troops on the remote beach. Thwart, to prevent someone from accomplishing something. Security forces managed to thwart the planned cyber attack on the national grid. Paramedics, persons trained to give emergency medical care. The paramedics arrived quickly at the scene to treat the injured passengers. Affiliated, officially attached or connected to an organization. This local hospital is affiliated with a major medical university in the capital. Smeared, to damage the reputation of someone by false accusations. The candidate claimed that his reputation had been smeared by false reports. Allegedly, according to what has been asserted, without proof. The company allegedly ignored safety regulations leading up to the factory accident. Footages, length of film or video made for movies or TV. The news channel broadcasted raw footages of the volcanic eruption in real time. Intimidation, the action of frightening someone into doing something. Witness intimidation is a serious crime that can result in long prison sentences. Imposing, to force something to be accepted or put in place. The government is considering imposing new taxes on luxury goods next year. Hinders, to create difficulties resulting in delay or obstruction. Lack of funding often hinders the progress of important scientific research. Crippling, causing a person or organization to be unable to function. The city's transport network suffered from a crippling strike last week. Blockade, an act of sealing off a place to prevent goods from moving. The naval blockade prevented any essential goods from entering or leaving the harbor. Recurring, occurring repeatedly or periodically. He has been suffering from recurring headaches for the past few months. Petroleum, liquid petroleum used as fuel, oil. The country is looking for alternatives to reduce its dependence on petroleum. Affairs, chargé d'affaires, a diplomatic representative below an ambassador. The chargé d'affaires handled all diplomatic matters while the ambassador was away. Touting, attempting to sell or promote something aggressively. The tech firm is touting its new software as a revolutionary tool for designers. Bilateral, involving two parties or nations. The two nations signed a bilateral trade agreement to boost their local economies. Convicted, declared to be guilty of a criminal offense by a court. He was convicted of fraud and sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. Firebrand, a person who is passionate about a cause and incites change. The young firebrand gave a passionate speech that inspired the entire movement. Synagogue, a building where a Jewish assembly meets for worship. People gathered at the synagogue to celebrate the traditional holiday with their families. Militant, aggressive or combative in support of a cause. The militant group released a statement claiming responsibility for the cyber attack. Characterization, a description of the distinctive nature of someone. The author's characterization of the protagonist in the novel is subtle and complex. Fatality, an occurrence of death by accident, war, or disease. Fortunately, the high-speed car accident resulted in no fatality. Detention, the action of detaining someone in official custody. The suspect was held in detention for questioning for 48 hours. Crackdown, severe measures taken against people or activities. Authorities announced a major crackdown on illegal gambling across the city. Congressional, relating to a national legislative body. The new health bill is currently being reviewed by a congressional committee. Contend, to struggle to surmount a difficulty or danger. Farmers have to contend with unpredictable weather patterns every harvest season. Colorectal, relating to the colon and the rectum. Regular screening is highly recommended by doctors to prevent colorectal diseases. Retroactive, taking effect from a date in the past. The company announced that the pay raise will be retroactive to the beginning of the year. Federation, a group of states or an organization. The Labor Federation is negotiating with the government for better working conditions. Machinations, a plot or scheme, often for a devious purpose. The detective spent weeks trying to uncover the complex political machinations. Recess, a temporary suspension of business or procedure. The court will go into recess for lunch and reconvene at exactly 2 o'clock. Discriminate, to treat someone unfairly based on prejudice. The law prohibits companies to discriminate against employees based on their age or gender. Injustices, lack of fairness or justice in a situation. The civil rights lawyer has spent her entire career fighting against social injustices. Legislative, having the power to make laws. The legislative body held a special session to discuss the national economic crisis. Concede, to admit that something is true after first denying it. After the final vote count was released, the candidate chose to concede the election. Fervor, intense and passionate feeling. The fans greeted the returning champion with incredible fervor at the airport. Fizzle, to end feebly or fail after a promising start. The marketing campaign started with great excitement, but seemed to fizzle out after a month. Dealmaker, a person who negotiates business or political deals. He is known as a shrewd dealmaker in the competitive international real estate market. Overturn, to reverse or cancel a previous decision. The Supreme Court has the legal power to overturn lower court decisions. Filibuster, a long speech used to obstruct progress in a legislature. The senator used a filibuster to delay the final vote on the controversial tax bill. Persuasive, good at convincing someone to do or believe something. Her persuasive argument finally convinced the committee to approve the project funding. Reconciliation, restoration of relations, or a specific budget process. The budget reconciliation process allows certain bills to pass with a simple majority vote. Renaissance, a revival of or renewed interest in something. There has been a renaissance of interest in traditional folk music among young people recently. Modular/modularity, consisting of separate modules for easy construction. The new office building was constructed using a modular design for better flexibility. Hamstrung, to severely restrict the efficiency of something. The startup was hamstrung by heavy debt and a lack of experience management. Overruns, an instance of exceeding an expected cost or time. The construction of the new international airport faced significant cost overruns. Graphite, a soft gray form of carbon used in industry. Graphite is a versatile material commonly used in pencils and industrial lubricants. Precast, fabricated off-site before being installed. Using precast concrete panels can significantly speed up the modern building process. Federally, by the authority of the central government. This national park is federally protected to preserve its unique local wildlife. Diversification, the process of becoming more diverse. Portfolio diversification is a key strategy to minimize risk in the stock market. Fission, the action of splitting something into two parts. Nuclear fission releases a massive amount of energy that can be used for power generation. Centrifuges, machines used to separate substances of different densities. The medical laboratory uses high-speed centrifuges to separate various blood components. Viability, the ability to work successfully or be sustainable. Investors are questioning the economic viability of the new green energy startup. Lampooned, publicly criticized or ridiculed using irony. The celebrity was lampooned by late-night talk show hosts for her recent outfit choice. Sporadic, occurring at irregular intervals, scattered. There have been sporadic showers throughout the day, so it's best to bring an umbrella. Breadwinner, the member of a family who earns the money to support it. Since his father's retirement, he has become the primary breadwinner for his household. Colonoscopy, a medical examination of the colon using a camera. Doctors suggest that adults over the age of 45 should have a regular colonoscopy. Ulcer, an open sore on an internal or external surface of the body. Eating spicy food can sometimes irritate a stomach ulcer and cause discomfort. Gastrointestinal, relating to the stomach and the intestines. Proper nutrition and hydration are important for maintaining good gastrointestinal health. Predisposition, a liability or tendency to suffer from a condition. A genetic predisposition can significantly increase the likelihood of developing certain diseases. Rectal/rectum, relating to the rectum, the final section of the large intestine. The patient complained of persistent rectal pain and was immediately referred to a specialist. Distension, the state of being swollen or enlarged from internal pressure. Abdominal distension can be caused by various factors, including temporary digestion issues. Constipated, affected with constipation, difficulty emptying the bowels. Children may become constipated if they do not consume enough fiber in their daily diet. Anemic, suffering from anemia, lack of healthy red blood cells. The latest blood test results showed that the patient was slightly anemic. Hemoglobin, a red protein responsible for transporting oxygen in the blood. Consuming iron-rich foods help maintain healthy hemoglobin levels in the human blood. Cohort, a group of people banded together or treated as a group. The researchers studied a cohort of patients over a 10-year period to observe long-term effects. Pathology, the science of the causes and effects of diseases. The pathology report confirmed that the tissue sample collected was non-cancerous.